Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to KW Malaysia's weekly Power Monday regional trainings. I hope everyone is well. If you can hear me, please press 1. Okay, if you can hear me, please press 1. Okay, one person can hear me. All right, let's keep on coming. Let's press those ones. There you go. Awesome. Quick trivia question. What did you guys do over the weekend? What interesting things that you guys did on the weekend? Please share on the chat box. Anyone did any interesting thing over the weekend? Feel free to share on the chat box. What did you do over the weekend? Guys didn't do anything. What else? Come on. Study together with child. Launch 3 command ads. Awesome. I like that, Evelyn. Launch three command ads. Pak Tor. Okay. Cool. How do you pak Tor with social distancing? Interesting. Viewing. Awesome. What else? Hiking. Awesome. Last minute appointments. Great. Okay, I personally close a rental at 1,001. I love that, Agnes. Awesome. Hari Raya Spring Cleaning. Launch your first Facebook ad. Awesome, Wilun. Welcome to the new area of the Tech Enabler Agent. Okay, went through Ignite Notes. Awesome. Over the weekend, I decided to take my family to this place in Kuala Selangor. It's a place called Bukit Melawati. I heard about it, but I've never been there. But my first time being there. How many of you been to Bukit Melawati? Yes, I've shaved. My wife says it's getting a bit too much. Couldn't find where I am if I don't shave, right? So couldn't find my face if I don't shave. So I shave. Yes. I saw the monkeys. I fed the monkeys. Son had a great time. Yes, it was an interesting place in Kuala Selangor. I've never been to Kuala Selangor for a very long time. Beautiful scenery, beautiful view. Yes, I did eat a lot of seafood. I took a boat, could see the fireflies, right? So there was something interesting that sometimes when you don't really know what to do, right? When we're all have not enough options to go and have some leisure time or some family time, we start to look for opportunities somewhere else. And I didn't realize that this place called Bukit Melawati is so beautiful. The views and the sun settings and all that is just so beautiful. And I think sometimes we get too carried away going to overseas and all that. But these are sometimes certain things that around us, that's near us, that we don't realize that is actually there, right? Sometimes it needs us to be in a complete silence of a place where we didn't have any other options but this, right? And then I decided to go and check it out, and didn't realize it was such a beautiful place. But anyway, today our goal is to kind of share with you a perspective of what's there available for all of us to tap onto. What are some of the things that we can leverage on as we go ahead in our business? But before we go through this conversation that I have with one of our esteemed guests, no stranger called Mr. Ganesh, right? He's an esteemed guest of ours, one of our favorite. He's our favorite Ganesh in MC1. So, but before we go there, I want to quickly play a short video to kind of set the tone for today's conversation. So, Marcus or Yunchi, can you please help me play the video right now? Sit back, relax, watch the video.
They were like, "Oh, you are doing this," and I said, "Yes, so what's wrong?" And they said, "I thought you are a conductor," and I said, "Why can't a conductor do this?" I'm an orchestra conductor. I specialize mostly in opera and ballet in Russia and the Baltic states and the Scandinavian areas. Basically, after the COVID-19 pandemic started, I haven't had any engagements across Europe or around the world for about a year already. And I decided to come back home because home is where the heart is. Of course, I did apply to several jobs. I'm looking to do something different, but I didn't hear from any one of them. And so I decided, why not continue to contribute to society in a very different way? I just started to send food to people. I've been a writer for 2 months. I'm very fair-skinned before. Now I'm a bit tanner. Having spent a lot of time in Russia where there's really no sun, it's very difficult to adapt to the sun. I was smearing sun cream, lotion, sunblock every day. But these days I'm a little smarter and I know my roots well and I know where the shelters are, so that's better. I'm very positive that things would be better around the world and theaters would open again and I would be conducting again. But at the same time, I am seeing this as a self-learning journey, a journey of self-discovery. I mean, I am now really calmer. I feel that I understand people a lot more. I'm more sympathetic to people. Like, that's a very important skill to have and something that cannot really be taught.
Yeah, I don't know how many of you watched this video before, but I think about a month ago, some of my music friends sent this video into a chat conversation that I had, which I'm not active there at all because I'm not really engaged in the music world anymore. And then when I saw this particular video, I was quite moved. I was quite triggered to think through a lot of things about how can someone from that status, right, to come down to be able to do this. Now, just to give a bit of a backdrop for those who don't understand music, right? The guy who is a conductor, who stands in front of the orchestra, who waves his hand and all that. Now, you all might think it's very simple. It's like he's dancing around on the stage and all that, right? But he's absolutely the most important person on stage during performance. He has to be so well trained. The training that he has to go through, it's 10 to 20 times more of a professional musician. He has to understand the theoretical part of it, the historical part of music. He has to understand the technicality part. He has to understand the transposition of instrument to instrument. So you have to be of a certain standard in intelligence in order to do what he was doing. Now, I want to give you a perspective. That's how high it was for him there, in the respect of they call the conductor a maestro, right? The respect of a conductor is of this level because the level of training and intelligence is needed in order for him to do his job well. And now he has decided to go and do a job that, from his standpoint, it's a different level. Now, when you all saw that video, what were some of your first thoughts that came to you? Please put in the chat box right now. What are some of the lessons that you're already thinking and learning I hope you were provoked by that video. What were some of the things that you have thought of or something that you have learned as you watched that video just now? Put in the chat box, please. Now, Chris mentioned that he knows how to shift and is humble enough to do it. Okay, what else? Anyone else? What did you see? He humbled himself and adapted to survive. Wait and better time to come. Awesome. What else? What are some of the things that you are learning from this? It's okay to do something that you never thought of doing to survive. I love that, Narayan. Self-learning, self-discovery. When the going gets tough, the tough got going. Be adaptable. Unlearn and learn. He humbled himself to learn. Position means nothing. Absolutely right. New experience. Sometimes it's okay to understand that the human being has so much limits that we don't understand. And there are three key lessons I learned from this video. Number one, the level of humility is being tested in the time of trials, in the time of difficulties. Now, as I look back for us, right, in our business in real estate, right, I mean, the music and the entertainment industry, it's absolutely having the biggest challenge ever in the history of mankind. Absolutely. It's just so hard to move on in the entertainment business right now. It's just so hard. You can work very hard, you can think of innovation, but it's just tough. But the humility to realize that, to understand that now he could sit down and not do anything about it. He could sit down and wait for someone to hire him. And he could sit down and just sulk and blame everyone about this. But the level of humility brings you to a certain level of awareness about ourselves. So the first lesson I learned from this particular person is the level of humility is always tested in time of trials, in times of difficulties. The humility begins to build. There's a new work that happens to us when we are going through a tough time. We humble ourselves or we don't. And that's a choice. You and I today, we have a choice to choose to humble ourselves or not, right? That's the first lesson that I learned. The second lesson is he's very learning based. Because in order for you to become a conductor, right, the ability to learn and think about things and the intellectual ability is very different. But he used that strength to figure out what's the best way to become a delivery driver or a delivery person, food delivery person, right? The learning based part is critical. Right? He's pretty much very learning based. You can hear his conversation and the thoughts that he shared. Likely he's very learning based, right? And the third thing is he's thinking about how can he use his time to contribute to others. Now, if you hear the video, it talks about how much he wants to contribute to others, even in this tough time, because there's so much things that means his existence in doing what he does is focused on how to contribute to others. Just want to pause there for a moment to ask ourselves today, how much time or how much thoughts that we put into ourselves when we think about contributing to others, right? And that was the three key lessons I learned from the video: learning based, contribute to others, and having the high level of humility. And I think these are some of the things that COVID-19, some of the gifts that COVID-19 has brought to some of us in our journey. Personally, to myself, it has brought to me in how it has taught me to think about things differently, how much awareness that I have about myself, and what are some of the things that I have to humble myself to learn all over again, right? So these are some things I hope is helping you to set the tone for today's session, because I'm going to kind of interview Ganesh here as he journey along his business in real estate for many years. I just want to just tap on his brain, how he has been doing in the past couple of years, especially during the KW transition and also COVID-19. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome Ganesh Mahendran. He's from MC1. He is a registered estate agent. He's also a division director in our market center. An awesome guy. You need to get to know him. After this session, do give him a call and ask him for any question that you want. I hope he will be happy to entertain your call. But Ganesh, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So Ganesh, let's start off and set this tone correctly. How many years have you been involved in real estate?
29 years. I started in 1992.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And in those 29 years, how long have you been with Whitfield?
I had I started with Whitfield actually. When I came in, I didn't know anything about real estate, but I was in an environment of people sharing their views and all that, and I quickly adapted, and I eventually I took the exams and I got through in about, and I qualified in about 2 years time. Yeah, and I left so that I could get a little bit more experience in another background, no? And I joined a valuation firm, their real estate division, and then I left that 2 years later, and I was running my own firm in Taman Tun for 14 years. And I came back to Whitfield in 2010, and I've been here ever since.
Right. So you have two stints with us, and this is your second stint with us, and it's about 11 years right now.
Yeah, now 11 years in now, and 2 years before that.
So, right. So about 13 years in total. What are some of the reasons that you're still staying on this company after 11 years?
I think the most important reason for me, that's the most important thing, is the culture of sharing, helping one another, and working for the client's best interests. This is something which I think never changed over the years. And that's one of the reasons why I came back. And then, of course, the resources, which I believe I have relied on totally when it came to, as I was journeying through the years, the resources is something which nobody can match.
Right. So it's the culture, the resources, the people around you,
Yeah.
the help that you get. At the same time, a lot of new things that's being implemented here is helping you to do your business.
Yeah.
Now let's kind of zoom in on the COVID-19 moment last year. Tell us, share with us, what was your immediate thoughts when we were in the crisis last year in March? How did you fare? What were you thinking? What was going on? Tell us.
Okay, you must understand that I came from an era where, internet and the computers was not something which was very common. In those days, the only technology we had was the fax machine and the telephone. In those days, what we did was we got our listings, we put it into the Star or the Malay Mail, and then we hung the signboards and waited for things to happen. I had not much of an experience earlier with the internet and all that, but so you can imagine when my my I normally deal with physically, and suddenly we are cut off completely. And I have to admit that the first 2 months, I had a great difficulty trying to adapt to the new thing when things will have to be done virtually. Really, I had a lot of difficulty. So, but then I realized that I can't sit down and cry or to do nothing. I had to go out there. And then, of course, the virtual trainings helped me tremendously. And I transitioned from being from that era to the era of communicating virtually with people and all that. Yeah.
What was some of the emotional experience that you had, if you don't mind sharing? What are some of your feelings and thoughts in that moment, that first 2 months, that moment where you were in that process of deciding to transit into this new normal of being virtually connected, right? Before that, you were all physically connected.
Yeah.
Now you're like 60-70% virtually connected. What was those emotional journeys that you had to go through? How did you feel in that 2 months of uncertainty? Can you just share that with us a little bit?
We were actually going through it. When KW came in, I realized that I had to adapt quickly, to technology and all that. And of course, I thought I had time to transition into this. But the moment COVID hit and everything had to be done virtually, I thought, this is it. Really, I thought that this was, that maybe the heavens were telling me, okay, you had a good time. It's time to pack up and move on. But then I realized, I saw people around me slowly adapting to this, and I still thought I was relevant, but to be more helpful to the team under me, I had to adapt to this technology, and that's how I slowly came in.
Right. So there was a fear of saying that maybe I'm not cut out to do this anymore. There was that fear of saying that it's time for me to pack my bags and go into some other things, or maybe just quit and just rest at home and not do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think about quitting or anything outright, I mean, immediately, but I thought maybe I would take a back seat. You see, although I'm a team leader and a coach and all that, I am on the field a lot. And not being able to communicate physically, it took a toll on me.
Right.
And but then I realized when we had virtual meetings with my clients and all that, I had to be taught how to do that. And then when we got results, I was astounded. I was
Right.
able to adapt to it. Yeah.
What did you do to change to help you in this journey of adapting to this new normal? Like what helped you, or who helped you?
I screamed and said, I need help. And I was very lucky in the sense the regional team was there. And more importantly, people around me, the agents, the younger ones, those who had adapted to the technology quickly, they helped me with that. And yeah, I'm forever grateful to them. And even to this day, I'm still counting on them to help me.
Right. How did you feel? How did you feel when you had to kind of ask for help?
I actually, I thought, actually, what we used to joke that, it's got to be what do you call you teach me this and I will teach you that. That kind of a relationship I got into them, because most of them were very capable technology-wise, but
Right.
the field experience is something which they don't have. So we agreed on this, and I managed to close quite a number of deals using that relationship.
Right. So there's like a barter trade. You're gonna find a win-win solution, and someone to help you in this area, and then you help someone in that area, and then there's an exchange going on.
Yes,
You
yes,
went in to look for an exchange to create value, not only just to ask from people to receive value, but you went in and created value as
yep,
well.
yep,
Right. Were
yeah.
there any significant experience that you had during that moment, or that time, that helped you give you a boost or a breakthrough to really transit into this new era? Is there any significant experience or any significant episode that you want to share?
Okay, I don't know whether I could, it's considered something significant. Uh, I was slowly coming into command and learning how to do campaigns and all that. Then the other part came in about signing documents, DocuSign. Uh, I had a client somewhere in Johor Bahru, and we needed the documents to be signed virtually because it was difficult, because the tenant wanted to move in immediately. And I actually didn't know what to do. I was thinking of sending the documents by courier and all that, but it would have taken time and all that. So I did was call one of my team members and made him sit beside me, and I learned how. It took 3 hours, and we did it. And that was my introduction, and I was very surprised. After that, things went smoothly.
Right. And are you using DocuSign right now?
Yes.
Because you have learning in 3 hours. It took you that courage and that strength to decide, and then you decided, and then someone came and helped you. And how willing were people around you willing to help you? How willing were they?
Actually, the fact that they have been in the refill for so long, and they have the same mindset, the culture of sharing, and it was no. He came practically immediately to help
Hmm.
me out, because I was stuck at that point, because the tenant wanted to move in the next few days, and I had to get the documents signed, and we did that.
Right. Now, if you look back 2 years ago, like if you now you're here, this is now 2021, but at 2020, how many people? Can you just kind of like give us a estimated or educated guess? How many people have you reached out to ask for help?
I've asked for help from many different people in many different parts of the. It's I think what 30, 40 people.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow,
I do. There'll be agents sitting around me, and then when I'm trying to do something with technology, and I'm not very patient in the sense, and I will immediately insist on getting some help, and there will be people around me to help out.
In your mindset, when you are thinking about, when you're stuck, right, and you want to progress, right, because the reason why you're asking for help, because you want to progress.
Yes.
Can you share with us what is it that's in you that you are so driven to want to progress, even though it's difficult and stuck? What's the reason behind that motivates you that you want to progress forward?
Basically, I even before I came into this industry, I've always wanted to grow and I want to learn new things. This is something which it comes, I don't know whether you can say naturally. When I am in a corner and I want to move to the next level, I really want to grow and learn. The only, I think, one thing which I think I lack is patience. The sense that I need it. I know, a lot of them say, hey, you can learn this from YouTube and all that, but I want someone physically beside me and teaching
Right.
me how to do it.
Right, and that's just the way you learn. It's easier for you to learn that way, and you choose that way, and you choose to leverage on people around you to support you and do that.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to pause here for 1 minute. I'm going to tell everyone in this audience here right now. Here you are hearing a story of a veteran of 29 years in the business. By the way, Ganesh is a very young person, right?
Yeah.
He only started very young in real estate. When he was 5 years old, he started real estate. That's why he's 29 years in the business, right? But he's very young, okay? A person who has seen success, ran his own business before. He's still running a business in a different way in our platform, but he is absolutely humble enough to seek for help. Now, I want you all to hear this right now in this conversation here today. Now, if any one of you is stuck, any one of you who is not able to progress, you are just one phone call away to reach out for help. You have to reach out for help. You have to ask people around you. You got to latch onto the things that we do, because that is where you can change. That's where you can make a difference. If you don't ask for help, don't suffer in silence, right? Just don't do that, right? Because that's what you're hearing a story here right now. I just want everyone to let everyone know that this organization has a culture of supporting each other, irregardless of status, irregardless of. I've reached out for help before. I reach out to Ganesh for help before sometimes. I reach out to other people around me to ask for help. So all of us should be in this same mode where we should leverage on each other to support us to go through these tough times. Ganesh, how has 2020 business been? Just share a little bit about business. How has your business been in 2020?
Actually, John, when the COVID hit us, like I told you, I was sort of not knowing what to do and all that. And then when I adapted to the situation, I have achieved something which I didn't think I could have achieved. It has been pretty good. Yeah, I am really grateful for what I've done. I mean, and also the fact that I had so many people that have helped me to achieve this.
Right. Can I say that your business in 2020, it's much better than your business in 2019?
Definitely, it was.
Right.
But I must emphasize, it's not me alone. It's the people that I have under me.
Right. Can you share with us some, and I know in your journey of running this business last year, you went into a new model of like collaborating with people, like someone who had a listing that is absolutely a jewel, and they come to you for some consultation, and you decided to work with them on share that part with us a little bit, if you don't mind.
I think one of this was a agent actually from another MC2 actually. I think everybody knows it was Lydia, and she had a listing in Damansara Heights. And Lydia is a very intelligent person, but I think she lacked experience in the field, especially with that highly priced property. So she came to me, and we sat down, and then we did the market survey and found out that the price which the owner was asking was way out. I mean, it was okay maybe 2 years, 3 years ago, but when we realized the COVID situation had shifted, that the price has to be adjusted for. So we approached the owner and asked her to whether we could be her exclusive agent. She just brushed us aside because she thought we were one of the other agents who just, she said, no, I'm not going to sign anything. I want you to just go market this, and if you got a buyer, fine, I will come back to you. I'm not going to sign anything. She didn't even want to sign the non-exclusive appointment. So, so what we decided was, we knew most of the agents were not moving either. So we took on the listing, but what we did for the next few weeks, I think we carried on for 4 weeks, was we reported back to her all our marketing activities and the response. And then when at the end of the period, after 1 month, we again made an approach and told her we need to speak to her. So she said, okay. And then she brought in a cousin who was a professional, who was more, she knew what the real estate market was and what we were, she wanted someone beside her to ask for advice and all that. So she brought this person on, and we sat with her for 3 hours explaining to her the current market situation and how the price has to be adjusted. And then we did a marketing proposal. It was a very detailed marketing proposal, 6 months, and what we are going to do. And after hearing us in the 3 months and the 3 hours, she said, okay, but we proposed a price which was $500,000 below what she was asking for. And she said, initially she was reluctant, then she agreed, then she said to mark it up. I said, no, in this market, if it's more than 2 months in the market, it's not going to work. We need to put it at the price which can sell, price to sell. And after hearing that, and we told her we are going to hold the price as closely as possible. And guess what? Within 1 month after she had signed, we had quite a number of inquiries. And then when finally there were 2 people, and we closed it at a price which was very, very close to the price we had recommended.
Right. And how was this experience working with an agent on one listing where it's not your listing, where you are just supporting the agent, right? How was this experience? Can you share the experience with us?
Yeah, we agreed from the beginning that we will share everything equally, including the costs and all that. She was very, very good with technology, in the sense that she knew how to do the post, how to put it under the platforms and all that, take the photographs, put it in the best light and all that. And then I was in charge of the negotiations, and then how to market it and how to respond to clients who ask normally the same old question of what's the best price, what's the last price. We learned or we decided on a certain script how we are going to respond to that. Everything we learned all about objections. We knew what was going to come at us, and we decided on having a certain script when we met all these people.
Right. And that property was not sold. The owner couldn't sell the property for at least a couple of years or something like that. Am I right?
2 years, nearly 2 years it was in the market. And then when the COVID came in, it was not moving at all because the price was out. And then we came in, we looked at the house, the condition, and we advised her on a certain price, which when you priced it, when we priced it correctly, the response was immediate.
Right. So that's the experience you have when you are able to leverage someone who has a good listing, and you have the experience to leverage that she can leverage on you in terms of creating that opportunity to communicate well with the buyers and sellers, right? So that was what's happening in that scenario.
Yeah. And
Now,
most
yeah, go
of
ahead.
the time, it wasn't me in the front, it was Lydia who was in the front, because most of the time, most of the people like speaking to her, not to me. I guess the gray head. But we were we already decided on a certain strategy and the script, and we knew what was going to come at us, because there were a lot of people who were looking for opportunities, and of course all the cash buyers came with ridiculous offers. We knew how to put them aside and just focus on the serious buyers, and we decided on that, who are those people who were serious, and focused on them.
How many of these kind of deals that you went into last year? We working with other people and all that. How many?
I think about five, five
Right?
deals. Yeah.
Were they all successful
Yes, all of them were successful.
because of this mode of leveraging on others, right?
Basically, I have always concentrated on exclusive and the 3%, but after the COVID, I decided that pricing is also going to be one factor which I'm going to be focused on. And we had walked away even though we had the exclusive and the 3%, but the price was not right, we just walked away.
Can you share a little bit about that? Like why pricing is important right now? And you share that because of in one of our virtual trainings that we did during the COVID-19 time. Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with the sound, but it helped you to realize that pricing was critical, right? Can you share the experience and the realization?
Uh, I, I realized, and especially when you were talking about the shift, that pricing was critical, because even me, when I started to come out after the COVID, when they opened up for a while, I still worked on the whole pricing, and I realized it wasn't moving at all. All my listings were not moving, even though I thought at that time the price was right. But I realized the COVID situation had changed completely the environment. So I, I, there were situations when the bank valuations and the past transactions actually was supporting the owner's price. And yet we realized that the COVID was a game changer. And then, of course, what I told the owner was the price for the last few years was already sliding down. There was a downward slide, and the COVID situation had accelerated this. And then initially we started with about 10% drop from the bank valuations and also the past transaction, and then realized that even that was not enough. There was actually a drop generally of about 20%. And when we came to that figure, then things started to move.
Right. In your current experience right now, like for this year, right, do you still see the same trend? Are you still going into the business, making sure that it is priced correctly ahead of the market?
Yes, it more so now, because I think there are going to be a lot of people, even though the houses have been fully settled, a lot of businesses are going to feel the effects of the COVID from the last year, and it's going to come this year. And we are seeing signs that things are, it's going to become critical for them to dispose of this asset because of the cash flow situation. So some of them are going to be critical. But of course, saying that, certain areas like Taman Tun, Bangsa, Damansara Heights, they're still holding on, but the market, but there has been a slight drop also. So I'm very grateful. A lot of the owners, and especially the people I've been referred to, understand this. So what I'm doing right now is, we have taken a listing recently in Damansara Heights, where the response has been pretty good, but still there's a resistance to the price. So I and the owner have agreed that for the first 1-2 months, we will maintain that price. And then with the marketing, we will show him all the marketing we have done and the response, and then he will agree to adjust accordingly. So
Right.
that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah. So it's journeying with the owners, it's journeying with the clients through a process, right? And in Shift, we talk about the 3 stages of how owners have to go through the emotions in order to decide to sell at a price that is relevant to help them sell. So that's the process that you're going through. Now, you learn all this from our KW training during the COVID time, right? What motivated you to set yourself to make sure that you tune into this training on a weekly basis? You're muted, Ganesh. You're muted. There you go. Yeah.
Basically, real estate is all about relationships. Yeah, it's about relationship. So when I realize I'm dealing with people, and this is something which is very important to me. There are people that are very intelligent, but they are also at the same time, when it comes to their properties, it's emotional. I've realized that I have to learn how to handle these people, and I think technology is something which I have to, because of the COVID situation, I have to learn how to build that relationship, and that's what I'm doing now.
Cool. How many of you are learning something from Ganesh today? How many of you are experiencing something different as you are learning from Ganesh right now? Please put in the chat box. What are some of the ahas and the thoughts or the lessons that you are learning from him right now? I hope you are listening to some of these gold nuggets that Ganesh is sharing. And he has been very generous and very open in sharing the story. What are some of the ahas that you're hearing right now? Please put in the chat box. Please put in the chat box. What are some of the ahas that you're learning or you have learned from Ganesh in this conversation today? Well, my biggest aha, Ganesh, is that I didn't realize until today, as you shared and you openly tell your story, the level of humility that you have. I'm not saying this to kind of make you feel good or whatever, but I'm really understanding that in order for us to go forward in a progressive mode, humility is absolutely necessary. Like humility is absolutely necessary, and it's not an age thing, it's not a status thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a life thing. I think in life, if we want to progress further, the humility to tell ourselves that I don't know and I need help is the number one thing for us to progress. And I don't know whether everyone catch this, but I caught this from Ganesh today. The ability to say that I actually don't know, I don't know this, but I want to learn and I'm looking for help. Right? Willingness to adapt to change. Susan is saying that be humble to ask for help. Do not stop learning. Right? So being learning based is absolutely important. Is there any questions that anyone here want to ask Ganesh? Let's open the floor a little bit as we close. Before we close, is there any questions that anyone has anything to ask Ganesh? Anyone in the chat box in workplace? Can someone help me monitor any questions there? Supporting and leveraging each other. Yes, right. You help me with this, I help you with that. That's a win-win. Yep. That's a win-win. Knowing what's your win and I'm telling you what's my win, can we meet? Right? That's a win-win, right? And it's a conversation. It's not a perception, it's a conversation, right? Anyone else? Anybody got any questions to ask? How much was that deal that you closed with Lydia? Are you open to share that, Ganesh?
It was close to 4.2 million.
4.2 million. And you all got 3%.
Yeah.
Right, it's 120,000 commission, right? Yeah. Right, not bad. Not bad for a COVID-19 year.
Yeah, and we closed it within 2 months. Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad. It's if you've got a listing and you're stuck, leverage with someone to help you. right? Don't try your best to work with others because you move forward faster together when you fill in the gaps for each other, right? That's called leveraging. That's called truly learning about leverage, right? When you are leveraged properly, you progress faster and you learn faster, right? Any other questions? Anyone got any more questions? Maybe I got one last question for you, Ganesh. Now, if I am in the audience right now, or I am someone that I am struggling and I am afraid to ask for help, what would you advise me to do?
I think, you know, I'm not a person who approaches people unnecessarily, but I realize that if I want to grow and I want to do the best for my client, and I want, if you want to be relevant in this industry, I think that that is a small step to take, to ask for help. Really, I mean, it's no point being in this industry. You really need to take that small step.
Right. And it's all because if I want to serve my client properly, right, then that's what I need to do, right? There's a question here. Can someone have nothing to give back and seek help at the moment with promise to give back whenever he can? Well, it's a trick question, but
And
right? So I guess you have to call Ganesh to find out. After this call, I will send you his toll-free number, and then you can call his hotline. Okay, then he'll respond.
actually, John, I don't mind advising and all that. I will also learn something from him. It doesn't have to be, taking part of the commission or anything. I will pick something up from him.
Right.
At the end of the day.
Right. It's all about having a good, meaningful conversation, right? I think perhaps you can share on who and where to ask for help if you don't know anyone in Refill. That's a good question. So first answer to that, I will quickly ask the question. If you don't know anyone in this group, right, reach out to workplace, see who are posting something, comment on them and ask for help. Or speak to your market center support to ask for a referral, or speak to your market center team leaders, reach out to your MCAs, reach out to your MCS, reach out to anyone. You can reach out to me and ask, is there anyone I can talk to? I have connected many people together before as well. So you just got to reach out to someone around you, right? Someone around you in the organization, from the market center leadership or an agent, and ask for help. Yesterday, someone just reached out to me and say, is there a project team that I can join? Right? So just reach out and then seek help. Anyway, so great question, Joanne. That's a good question. If you can share who and where to ask for help, the leadership team in the market center, your market center support, the MCA, the team leaders, any regional team members, reach out to them. We are all here to support your success in your business. But we won't know if you don't tell us that you need help. So reach out to anyone on the leadership level. Everybody should be on workplace, and you can reach out to anyone on workplace, right? There's a question here. I have a listing in Damansara with the same type of owner that you just described. Can I call you?
Can.
Yes. So Hanmo, reach out to Ganesh. Don't call him uncle. I just that's not a good way to start, but call him Koko Ganesh and ask him. You can reach out to him on workplace. If you go to workplace, just look for Ganesh Mahendran. You will see his work chat there and his contacts are there. So you can reach out to him, right? Now, before we close, there's some announcement I want to make. Ganesh, just hang on the last thoughts, right? Last thoughts, hang on for a while. Can I have the announcements, please, before we close? Right. So National Consumer Campaign is on. And we are going ahead I think we are in week 10 right now. So if you have not done this is a touch point campaign with the scripts to help you reach out to buyers, sellers, and potential recruits that you want to do to grow your growth share. Next slide, please. Right, every Thursday you'll be done. We are also having the championship, the National Consumer Campaign competition. Every week from the week of March to 27th of May, we'll be doing this competition. Please log in there, and then you're able to see the terms and conditions. We have two categories. One is private messaging with clients, and the other one is social media message. We only have 2 winners every week, and there will be a grand prize of $200 at the end of the whole championship, right? Next slide, please. I want to announce this week's champion. last week's champion. Can I have the next slide, please? Yes. Now, last week's champion, they are both Chong, but they are from different father and mother. Okay, same name, same surname, but from different families. Congratulations to Stephanie Chong and Winning Chong for winning $50 each in campaigns credits for consistently doing this National Consumer Campaign Championship. I can see Winnie is winning the second time already, if I'm not mistaken. She's winning the second time in a row. Please take advantage of it. I've noticed that a lot of these are from Market Center 1. I'm calling out to all agents in Market Center 2 and 3. You guys got to step up and do your best. Use this championship to help you propel your business in the area of touching base with your clients right now. If you have any questions, please reach out to your Market Center support. Next slide, please. Right, there is a KW Command workshop going on to help you launch your campaigns. Lucas has successfully done, I think, a few campaigns workshop in the past week, and a lot of them have launched their campaigns and joined leads already. So do sign up for this campaign. I think there's a class on the 10th of May, if I'm not mistaken. Can I have the next slide, please?
No, this Thursday, 10 a.m.
This Thursday at 10 a.m. Sorry, thank you. At this Thursday at 10 a.m., there's a class, there's a workshop. If you have not understood how to launch a campaign, sign up for the workshop. It's happening this Thursday at 10 a.m. to leverage on doing your campaigns to help you get more leads for your business. Right. So thank you very much for listening to the announcement. Ganesh, I want to ask you, what are some of your last thoughts? What are some of your last thoughts to our audience here today? In the way how you leverage in our culture, how you leverage our training programs, our technology, and the people around you. What are your last thoughts and advice to people around you here today?
I would strongly urge everyone. I think all of us have strengths, and we are not good in everything we do. And what we need to be, but we are in a company where the culture is of sharing and supporting one another. I think we all should reach out to one another. That's very important. And I think I've realized, especially since the COVID situation, I've reached out and I've been really, really blessed with the kind of results which I've received. Can you imagine if everyone were to do that and leverage on one another, that will be the best. And I think we will go to the different level.
Right. Thank you for sharing that. Ganesh, thank you for taking time of your business and being vulnerable and open in sharing your journey and in the last 2 years and how it has changed and transformed you. Thank you for leveraging on using the things that we have set for you. Thank you for being a great example to all of us. Now, all of us in this room, if you are blessed today, can I encourage you to write something to appreciate Ganesh for today's session? Can you please write something? You can send him something as well if you want to, but please do express your gratitude, because it's important to start our day with gratitude. If you cannot find anything to be grateful about, I hope you find today's session to be grateful for. So please send that gratitude to nice coconut tree. They like your coconut tree, by the way, behind you, right? So thank you, Ganesh. Thank you so much. To rest of you all, thank you so much for being here. I hope this has helped you kickstart your 2021. This first week of second week or third week of April. I lost touch already. Third week of April. I hope this kickstart you for this week. I hope that this will be a great week ahead for everyone. So thank you, Ganesh. Thank you, everyone. See you guys in the next training.